Check out the angle on this thing. This is supposed to be flat. It is not supposed to look like a mountain. So I did a diagnostic on this just to sort of see like what could possibly be making this pitch up at such an extreme angle, and there's a couple of things going on here. I mean, first, the obvious thing is that there was a repair attempt with what appears to be tight bond hide glue, which failed, and there's two reasons it failed. The bridge plate on the inside is cracked. It's actually cracked super cleanly, and it's like very reparable, so we don't have to pull that, which is really nice because that's always a hassle. The other thing is that the top geometry, this has been like pitched, you know, up by string tension for so long that the top geometry is just totally off. Oh, good God, that was harrowing. The top is so deformed that it like kind of trapped the pickup element into its space here. And so I had to like, I spent 10-15 minutes just sort of like wiggling it around here and there just to kind of like zhoosh through the hole, and I plugged it in to test it out to make sure that everything was fine, but sometimes that's just a battle that you're gonna lose, unfortunately. Got my trusty heating pad here that always smells like burnt dust when you first turn it on. The plot thickens considerably here. I finally get the bridge off, and you see all these little white scratches here? That's finish. So there's finish underneath here. So this is what ended up happening at the factory. They finished this entire thing, probably in polyurethane or polyester, and then epoxied this to the top of the guitar. And so as a consequence, that's not a particularly strong bond for long term. So this torqued forward under string tension over time, and then eventually ended up causing this huge mountain back here, a dip here, took the bridge plate out with it, and these are the consequences. This is what happens when you epoxy where you should wood glue. All right, we're just gonna take a break from the insanity of that room for a second, and I'll show you this. Check that thing out. Mexico has just been putting out some absolutely stunning pieces lately. Let's put this away. Check this out. Ah. On the surface, it probably looks like this is getting glued down right now, but it's not. I'm applying pressure here to the spot where it's the tallest, just to kind of get it with the bridge plate repair. We took a little bit of that hilliness and maybe brought it to here. So what I'm trying to do is get it to here, you know, just to get it almost flat, so that by the time we get the bridge reinstalled and the bridge doctor in there, it will be somewhat flat up top. Okay, so with the clamps off, we can see that 48 hours or so of pressure did this a lot of good. So all I did was just wet down that area underneath the bridge and then really bear down with the clamps and leave it for a couple days. And that did a world of good. Alright, this is the bridge doctor. This is what I am going to install next here. So the way that this sits is underneath here, you know, underneath, and this rod goes on the back and then pushes up against the tail block. So what then you can do is use a wrench to torque this a little bit, and it kind of does one of these. Pushes up here, pulls down here to sort of correct the rest of the warpedness of the top. looks like I can show you a little bit what's going on here with the mirror. If we look down the guitar here, we can see the rod pushing up against the tail block there. And then if I angle the mirror a little bit up, we can see where the top of the bridge doctor there is pressing against the front of the bridge plate, which is right here. This is my favorite carving knife by a long shot. It's a more 120, I want to say, or a 122. And it was cheap. It cost like maybe 20 or 30 bucks. And it's made out of laminated steel, which is amazing. So the cutting edge is a carbon steel, but the backbone is stainless. So it's got like a nice mix of toughness and sharpenability. I mean, you can get this thing absolutely hair-whittling sharp on your stones in maybe 10 minutes, and then just drop it back to life for the next month. It's a great knife for the price. Whenever you're inlaying a circular object into wood, it's very difficult to conceal those borders, you know, because you got the grain direction going this way, and then you have a circle sitting in the middle of it, so it tends to be really apparent. And the way that I try to conceal those borders a little bit is by staining and then sanding in the direction of the grain, and I repeat that a few times, and it works a little bit to help conceal some of those circular borders and just not draw so much attention. When you get close, you can tell if there's something there, but it just doesn't stick out like a sore thumb, and that's what you're looking for. Trying to find an angle where the light hits this, but we have string tension on now, and the thing to really look at here is this area and this area. I mean, that was so horrifically warped before, and that was without string tension. So you can see just a couple of little belly reducing techniques in that bridge doctor. A guitar can come in that looks like it would never be fixable and that's just broken for good, but just with a little bit of elbow grease, you can bring them right back to life.